Welcome back. We continue our journey through Summer Forest, where we are approaching Idle Springs. What we're seeing is a carver creating a wooden idol that unexpectedly comes to life. His co-worker forms an idea where he carves his ideal match. However, she does not come to life, which I think is good, primarily because of the splinters he'd have to deal with. Our objective is to unlock the temple doors by rescuing the workers from the idols who can destroy the locks. Once they're done, they remain idle afterwards. Sorry, that one was bad.
Spyro! The idols we were carving have come to life! They've locked us out of our temples and stolen our food!
The level loops back to the beginning. The plan is to get the talisman while picking up gems along the way. Then we'll come back to complete the puzzles accessible via the lake. The route to the talisman mostly contains the locked doors and the openings where the idols are attacking the workers. We'll focus on getting this mission done, then we'll discuss the next challenge.
Those metal shields are making enemies invulnerable to your flame attack. If
I also note that we're still stuck with permanent Superflame, so I've implemented some limitations that are in the description.
camera left.
This is all just tutorial stuff. Those symbols on the ground are part of the puzzle. Are part of the puzzles that we'll do at the end of this level.
Spyro, you're pretty tough. If you ever want a permanent job, we've got a place for you here. But for the moment, I want you to have this talisman.
We'll approach the first challenge, but first we'll go up these stairs and clear the gems along this stream. We're about to approach the first challenge. We need to use the supercharge to simultaneously free 6 hula girls to perform a rain dance to destroy a particularly strong idol. It should take less than a minute if done correctly.
It's fabulous to see you, Spyro. Now that the supercharged power-up is active, you can charge through the pedestals and send the dancing hula girls over here to help me. Look at that. The hula girl's ring dance blew up that idol like a Roman candle. Now I can pursue that dancing career I've dreamed of. Take this orb. It could help you go places.
So we'll clear these gems, then jump along the rooftops back to the beginning where we'll do the puzzles now. There's also a skill point where it says to get on top of an idol, and I'm wondering if it's that idol in the lake over there, so we'll try getting to the top. It doesn't look like it's possible, so I'll have to look into that. And the unfortunate thing is, there are some gems stuck on top of that pedestal, so we'll need to go to that rooftop all over again, which is a pain. I'm afraid there's no way of getting up there. From here.
I've been locked in here with all our tools. The first puzzle is to turn all these blocks yellow. If you have trouble, come back and talk to me.
So, first puzzle, it's very easy. Stand on a puzzle and the one you land on changes along with the ones adjacent. All you really need to do is stand on all the corners and you're done.
Wow, Spyro, you did it! I knew you could do it.
We'll approach the second puzzle. It's not really a puzzle, just a challenge, which is by the lake. Just making double sure that I can't get on top of that platform.
This idol says he's hungry and won't be satisfied until he's swallowed 10 fish. He's got a sensitive stomach, so watch what kind of fish you feed him.
So this one was tricky in the original game where the fish would shoot out of the water. All we need to do is flame the blue fish and the yellow fish while avoiding the red fish to feed the idol. We can see that the fish slows down as it approaches the surface in this version. In the original version they didn't slow down at all, so it made the reaction timing a bit less forgiving. In the reignited version, this is a bit easier than the original. Only 2 more to go.
Okay, Spyro, just one more puzzle to go.
And the final puzzle is on the ground where we saw those symbols before. So we'll make our way to those symbols.
If you jump on these stones...
So this is just trial and error where we have to
Let's
find...
start over.
We just have to find which stone has a relationship with the other stone depending on shape, color, outer shape.
Let's...
So, land on blue.
Let's...
Okay, we'll try the blue platform, then the crescent, then the orange crescent, the orange hexagon, and then the green hexagon.
Nice job, Spyro.
Okay. That's all the orbs. We'll have to go back to the roof again, picking up as many gems as we can along the way, and then that should be the level completed. One of the things I wish that the game didn't do once we finished the third puzzle is walk back to where the first puzzle was, because it involves a lot of backtracking if you haven't collected anything beforehand. And if you did collect everything beforehand and got the orb, you'd have to traverse the whole level before you finish the level if you wanted to view the ending cutscene for the level for Idle Springs. Okay, so Sparks is pointing to that pedestal in the lake. Perfect. I just looked up that skill point about landing on the idol quickly, and it turns out that it's the idol sculpture sitting idly where the supercharged power up was. So I'll see about getting that skill point another time. In the meantime, we will collect the gems in this lake, and then we'll enter the castle where our next set of levels are waiting for us. This room in particular is one of my favourites because you see the sunlight reflecting on the water. One of those nice touches in this version of the game.
You're well. Oh, and keep collecting.
So we have a choice of either going to Sunny Beach or Hurricos. I prefer to go to Hurricos first.
I saw something shiny at the top of this wall. You could probably get it, but you'll have to learn how to climb first.
So that's an ability we learn from Moneybags in the next homeworld. So we can't climb that yet. Okay. So Hurricos is a power station level manned by electrons. Unfortunately, the machinery is being sabotaged by gear grinders, and we're seeing them taking a diode from an electron, which is quite shocking. Hurricos is small in size, but the force fields make up for it. Each area contains at least one diode, where we need one diode to deactivate one force field. When all force fields are deactivated, we can get the talisman. This area contains 2 diodes, and I can see the other one in the distance. I do like Hurricos in general. It has a nice atmosphere, and the challenge which rewards 2 orbs is quite fun. However, there is one challenge that holds it back due to its length. I'll explain more once we get there. There are also these fragile fans in the middle of the level. Once we get all of them, we receive a skill point. We've got our diodes, so we can proceed to the next section. I'm just making sure that there's no other gems lying around, which I don't believe there are. There is. Don't know the grammar of that sentence. So we're approaching the challenge that I personally don't like.
These gear grinder thieves keep taking our lightning stones. If you can replace them all and activate our generator, I'd be very grateful.
What we have to do is use the lightning stones to power the generators. to lure the gear grinder thieves into the open. The annoying part is that only 2 can be in the open at one time, rather than all 10, which makes the challenge repetitive to a degree where it becomes unnecessarily boring. For that reason, I'm using my Superflame without any restriction, even though it could be argued that I should only catch the thieves at point blank range. But I don't think that my decision for this challenge is too revolting. These thieves are remaining. Okay, one more to go, and then that should be ample. Just making sure there's no lightning stones lying around, so once we clear the lower section of the challenge, we should be able to get our orb. And that's the boring part of the level finished.
Thank you, Spyro. I found this shiny thing mixed up with our lightning stones. Please, take it as a reward.
Now that we've got our first orb, we'll focus on getting orbs 2 and 3. We have to activate the supercharged power up first by defeating the enemies for their spirit particles, and then we can charge into the solid fans on the walls and activate the switches behind them to slow down the the turbines above us. There's just 3 enemies we need to deal with. And so I have to take those fans down by supercharge. If I superflame those fans myself, that would be cheating. So I'm not going to do that. So I think we've deactivated 2 turbines. There's just one we need to turn off. And then we can move on to the next part of the challenge. There it is. I believe that's the final diode we need to access the talisman. Now that the turbines are off, we can climb up that those steps that we also unlocked to take us to the top of the cliff, where we can glide along the rooftops.
Spyro, do you see that big building over there? The gear grinders are using it to steal our electricity. Please help us by shutting down the machinery inside.
So it's simple enough. We need to platform our way to shut down the machinery stealing the electricity. Well, and we glide to the top of this turbine that has been, correction, not turned off, just slowed down. And that's where we're trying to go to on the other side to complete the challenge. As we get to the other side of these retractable platforms, we can see an electro, which will reward us with our first orb.
Spyro, you have done well so far. You can have this little trinket for good luck. If you have any questions about shutting down the factory, just ask me. The next glides get tricky. You'll have to use your hover maneuver to make them. Press the action button. Remember to press the action.
One of the things I don't pay much.
Remember to press the action.
One of the things I don't pay much attention to is the difficulty ratings of each challenge. The first part of this challenge was 3 stars, but the second section we're on right now has increased to 5 stars because we have to hover to reach the platforms. The reason why I don't care for the 5-star difficulty is because there are challenges which are more annoying than this one, with the same rating or fewer stars. There will be clear examples as we progress through this game, which reminds me, I need to go to the supermarket after this video. I hope I don't have any trouble with the trolley. And we've obtained a skill point for breaking those fans as well.
Spyro, help! The switch to turn off the gear grinder factory is in that room, but, it's awfully noisy in there. Thanks for shutting down the factory. Here, I found this stuck between the gear.
We've always had trouble with the gear grinders, but now they've set up force fields to separate us. If you find diodes, you can use them to turn off the force fields. I think there's a diode around here.
So what we're going to do now is go to the last force field, deactivate it, collect our talisman and go home. That's all the gems. Now it's just the talisman.
Thank you, Spyro. You've deactivated all of the electric barriers. We've been guarding this talisman from the gear grinders. Please, take it as a reward. You are always welcome to return to Hurricos, Spyro.
Thanks for stopping in. Please be sure to like and subscribe. I'll be collecting the remaining 2 talismans for this home world, and then the Speedway, and then face the boss, depending how we go for time. In the meantime, see you next video.